We only really allow Viper and Ruler to play it. Diablo's an exception because he is a prodigy. But he's not here, he just won ASI.
On the other one, I also really do like the Jarvan ban from IG, specifically because, you know, we were going to have our eyes on Gala, especially for IG, for carrying them. But for T1, we are definitely going to have our eyes on Oner. And he very well may be the best Jarvan in the world. So banning that one out from Oner as well is big.
Yep.
Now, getting down to the mid lane champion pool, Rookie is going to be the first one to grab away the Ryze here. But you can just trade that for Taliyah for Faker. Is it going to be paired with, like, you know, Vi or Pantheon or something like that? They do have plenty of options that normally pair very well.
Pantheon is certainly something that Oner has found a fair bit of success on. Could go back to the Xin Zhao if he feels like it, although not exactly the same champion as it was in the past. I do want to bring up the Bard ban. I think that we're going to see this against Keria every single game. If he gets to play this champion, you will lose. That's just how that one goes. So don't play a game down, just ban it away. As the Trundle is going to be locked in here for Oner, and I don't like blind Trundle. This is something that Chronicler has really done his very best to instill in me, and it's stuck. It can be dangerous.
It makes you start to wonder about, are they trying to dissuade IG from playing tanks? Dissuade them from, like, playing Xin or something? But there's so many other good AD jungles up. Of course, on the patch 2, we were wondering, is anyone actually going to play AP jungles? But probably not this time around, at least, with the AP mid laners already locked in. All right, some mobility here for the bottom lane with the Corki, and then Neeko, a huge one. Strong lane phase still has the big engages for later. Did not get nerfed coming in, so...
Yeah, I might need to go and check my crystal ball. I'm pretty sure I've got Neeko pretty high up when it comes to win rate on that one. And it's now in the hands of IG, as this first core is actually pretty powerful coming out. Of course, they don't have a massive amount of range, but there is a fair bit of poke there from the Corki. And the Ambessa is going to be locked in for Doran. I think this is his best champion this year. And you might, like, if, say, you're just a Worlds watcher and you're like, well, Doran isn't necessarily the strongest player. He's got his ups and downs. This is the best year of League of Legends Doran has ever played. He has looked incredible. As soon as he fit himself in to the T1 ecosystem, he has just flourished. And he has a great opportunity now against TheShy to really show what that means.
Yeah, to slam down an Ambessa. And on red side, when you're third picking Ambessa, like, you can be like, okay, it is blind, but also you get 2 protection bans because you're red side third picking. So it's like a kind of blind, because as long as you can ban out Renekton and whatever you're truly worried about here for Ambessa, it looks like only really worried about that Renekton kind of counter there for it, and will feel okay otherwise. They also opt to add the Vi to the ban list here to take it away from Wei. I feel like the Vi and the Poppy really have been great Wei champions, so that is a pretty good target from them.
Yep, some facilitation, definitely something worth looking at. The Poppy is such a good call though, Kobe.
Yeah.
Because we know, very important pick for Keria. He has certainly made magic happen on that champion. The Gumayusi, just thinking about the Sivir, not going to be mixing things up. I like the Caitlyn ban. We were having a discussion about, has Gumayusi been patched in on this patch, right? Jinx looking better, Caitlyn looking better. Certainly an opportunity. And they have banned away the Kai'Sa now. They get themselves the hyper carry in the Sivir up against the Corki this time. So they're not going to be as worried about the phosphorus bombs as oh no, the LCK commentator in me is shuddering, okay? This is a Qiyana, and it's not an LCK Qiyana. She doesn't know how to win in our league, but she's really good at it in the LPL.
And look at the Wombo combo with a Neeko here. Qiyana combinations with Neeko engages. It can be explosive. You can also Ryze Realm Warp, and you pre-Neeko ult, and then Ryze Realm Warp the Neeko ult in, and have Qiyana there for huge combination play possibilities.
And thankfully we've got you here. I know you're a bit of a fan of playing the Rek'Sai, as she has been hovered for now. She will be going towards the top lane though, so I assume you're probably still playing her in the jungle.
Yeah, I'm still in the jungle. TheShy though, definitely liking the Rek'Sai on the top side, the tanky version, extra tanky version of it, and we just round it out with that Alistar here for Keria to grab the extra engage that they do really need. That's gonna pull this comp right back together.
Yep.
I'm still kind of with you on the early Trundle pick, as you know, feel a little uneasy on that one, but is going to be able to, you know, like ult Rek'Sai and and stuff like that. So we'll see how much value they can get out of good pillars, because that can also increase the value quite tremendously there.
And now that we've got the comps locked in, we can answer some of those questions that we had before, right? Like, what has changed? What adaptations have moved in? I'm looking at this draft from T1, and I'm noticing nothing.
It's looking very, very similar.
Yeah, if this is what they played the last time we saw them against Gen G in the LCK, I'd be saying, yep, that's a normal draft. That's what we often see.
Luckily,
so not changing too much up just yet.
Luckily, this is going to be a full best of 5, baby.
Oh, it's got to
be a fearless best of 5 here.
Maybe we get our first reverse sweep today. You know, we could tick off one of those. Did you say 3+ for that? I didn't. I made that mistake in the past. But that's not going to happen this time around. IG, I love the draft. Of course, winning the coin toss, they got side selection. They've chosen blue side this time around. We know T1 absolutely love their blue side, but I think IG have utilized it absolutely gloriously moving into game 1. And yeah, the last time out, when we're talking about these two teams specifically, of course, only Rookie and Faker really staying on those squads. It was a win for IG, and we'll see whether T1 can answer back. So much. We are going to be talking about nostalgia all day, ladies and gentlemen. But already, TheShy is trying to get a little bit of damage down onto Doran, saying, "You are in my town now, sir." We'll see whether Doran is going to be all right, and it is just some biffo to start things off.
Yeah, nobody getting their grass proc just quite. Not enough time there. But we do get wards coming in a little bit early as well, so the slight combat does have a tiny effect.
Yep, Doran making sure he stays still. Of course, you do get those little mini games. You know, we often talk about it with like champions like Evelyn, where you have to like make sure you're warding differently. Rek'Sai is a bit similar, where you need to move less if you don't want her to see you.
Give off the radar ping.
Yeah. So we'll see whether Doran is going to be holding position more often than not, as Rookie and Faker will meet in the mid lane for the first time since 2019 Rift Rivals.
Yeah. And definitely Rookie not in the best form coming in, and Faker's lane phase isn't as good coming in, but we'll see, because Faker has really opted a lot into playing these side lane plays and dropping CS in mid lane. We'll see if he can do that early on Taliyah. Definitely a good champion for it.
Yep.
And bottom lane would be one of the cases for it.
Well, so far we've just got a little bit of damage going back and forth. Meiko looking a little worse for wear, as Keria has just been constantly headbutting, and Gumayusi just throws Beyblades everywhere. And so it is a little bit difficult, but T1 getting control of this wave for now, and none of these weird swaps that we have been seeing across the world, right? Like the, what is it, the WE swap, or we like to call it the Viper swap, because he was the first to do it in the LCK. Not happening this game.
Yeah, where the AD carry just goes topside instead. Yeah, we definitely should mention with the patches catching up here for Worlds that, as you say, one of the things that they did change was increase the lane swap detection from 3 minutes to 4 minutes up there for top lane specifically. So that does make, you know, the possibilities of those AD carries, you know, swapping up top side early on less enticing. They're more dangerous because you have to play the bounce back wave, and there's also more time for junglers, you know, finishing full clears and having options to go up there. But, you know, pro players do still love to cook ways to lane swap.
Yeah, I think that lane swaps will always find a way. You've just got to stop fighting it.
Just double jungle for a while. Or
yep. I mean, that's what some of the theorizing has done. However, we haven't seen it just yet, and I would like it if we just get some 2v2 laning as TheShy and Doran just, you know, trading blows a little bit here, but we know that Rek'Sai is pretty comfortable going down low, just builds up more Fury, and then gets all of that health back, as you can see, going in once again. Doran losing out on that trade pretty massively.
Yeah, meanwhile, we had the junglers trading their Scuttle Crab, so it is going to be a little later recall for Wei because he had to get chased off and go up for the topside Scuttle Crab. So he's going to be a little bit later on his recall. It's not going to matter too much, though. Does mean that Oner is first up to his Krug's side, up by top.
Yep, Demolish Rock there from TheShy as well. Getting towards that first plate. This Gumayusi, decent spell shield there to avoid a bit of damage. Tangle Bubs could have been a problem as Gala taking back some control on this bottom side. It's a bit what we were expecting. This was, in the LCK at least, the most powerful lane you could get for a very long time. The Neeko Corki was absolutely terrifying, something that even T1 were able to use to great effect as Faker finding a fair bit of damage here onto Rookie, who's stacked up this wave quite a lot, should be able to get rid of it and then make his way back. No teleport used here for the Ryze, so right now he's playing with a little bit of extra space.
Yeah, and Guma just farming up down there on the Sivir. Doing pretty decently for himself, getting his CS. We'll see about scraping together the rest of the CS under tower, but no big move quite yet. He's gonna have re-clears for both junglers as well, ending up on bottom side.
Yep, and we're probably not going to expect too much craziness, at least until level 6s have been hit, unless Doran just goes ahead and dies towards the top side of the map, down to about 100 health, and will have to go back home as now Faker in trouble. Rookie made his way back in and gets the flash out from Faker. Get out of my lane, he says.
Nice punish here from Rookie, coming back on the teleport. Gets the flash out of Faker. Top side.
Flash in from TheShy, looking for Doran, who's dashing around, finds the ulti, and down goes the Ambessa, but Gumayusi will answer immediately afterwards to try and balance out that money, but TheShy already finding some prey.
Oh, TheShy does it. Gets level 6 under tower, Atlus, so he knows with the Rek'Sai ultimate, he can go for the kill. He charges it up there, up the Fury, gets the true damage on the bite, gets the ultimate to finish, and then into the waiting arms of Guma. So T1, it's actually not the end of the world there. Even with Doran getting soloed under tower, Guma's able to collect, and that actually puts the money on the Sivir as we get a convergence here towards mid lane, trying to push out the wave.
They're going to get snared up here by Wei. Looks like it is just a battle for the wave. Oner moving on over, puts down some chilly ground, but should just be T1 claiming the position, moving these minions out of the way, and a possible fight for this dragon could ensue. First one will be a Chemtech, so not going to have to type too many sus in the chat this time around.
It's very interesting too because TheShy is still topside and yes, teleport, but the Sivir is applying pressure to the wave, trying to push in. So if they do have a lot of, no, they're actually going to teleport topside to overload.
Yep, we'll see. TheShy is down relatively low, but you can be pretty tricky on this Rek'Sai as Keria finds the pulverize. It's just going to be a bit of damage as he does make his way out. Picture in picture, you got Gala up against Doran here towards this bottom side as both waves are going to be crashed in here by T1. Decent little move. No dragons to be attempted just yet. Both teams with vision in the area.
All right, so T1 get to keep farming up their Sivir. TheShy on Rek'Sai, though, does have some teammates in the area you can see on the mini-map trying to come up.
Yeah.
Way they're finishing up the Gromp, level 6 Qiyana, ready to make a play, but not going to stick around and force the issue. Or are they?
Yep, there's the pulverize. Keria going down relatively low. Another Void Rush coming on through there from TheShy, but not enough to take down Keria here. Gumayusi now just trying to walk him down, as there it is once again for Guma. Meiko now in a bit of trouble. He has to flash to get himself out of the way, and this Sivir is now very, very fed. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, some public execution onto Gala here, but no one else really turning up for that show, and he will be okay underneath this turret for now.
Atlus, Wei went back to base. Oner stays there. That's why T1 forced that play. So they have Keria go for the engage, and Shy was kind of asking for it, but Wei had gone back to purchase.
Yep. Turtle port in from TheShy is not going to get him quite in time. So we're going to have a look at some grubs going down here towards this top side of the map. Meiko will be able to help Wei out. And that is going to be the Qiyana securing all three of them. Let's have a look at this replay once again.
Yeah, Wei's recalling, you can see. So as Meiko and TheShy go in for this, and Keria is able to flash out without dying, just survives on a sliver of health, they have Oner still here. He commits to the play. They get the chase down. And Atlus, again, more money into Sivir is exactly where they're trying to funnel this here, right into Guma, right into the Sivir, getting the ideal last hits.
And if this is how T1 are going to win this game, through Gumayusi, through their Sivir, then that's actually a lot of character development from T1. One thing that they've really struggled with, and this is something that did spoken about extensively, that is playing through Gumayusi is not the way that T1 often win the game. Often it's leave Gumayusi, facilitate everyone else, and he'll clean up. This is going to have to be playing through the Sivir, allowing him to carry, and that will show another string to the bow of T1, who didn't need too many more. They have won a couple of worlds in a row thus far.
Yeah, and we'll see how powerful the side lanes are for them as well, with Doran testing a little on the top side.
In his ground, but he's going to do a fair bit of work here as Wei makes his way in. Probably not going to be too much more, as Doran does have to flash. So solid little gank here, but the Qiyana not quite getting off the ground just yet.
And we also haven't seen the big moves from the Ryze or the Taliyah quite yet, as far as Realm Warp and Taliyah Ultimate making those moves to the side plays, but Dragon Beam started out, is going to draw them over.
Yep, Keria will be able to find TheShy, who tunnels his way out, gets a nice little knock-up. Void Rush just trying to void death, but the trample immediately catches him, and down will go the Rek'Sai. Faker taking the long way around, but Oner will be able to claim the kill with his bat. And Keria keeping his eye on where Meiko is. IG going to struggle to re-engage, although Keria isn't exactly at full health. He's not too worried about it. Oner moves over. It looks like T1 are not going to be able to pick up the dragon here.
Yeah, that was a great pillar from Oner here onto TheShy, and Keria had a control ward in that pixel brush that is still there. The Alistar just waiting for him, but they did get the kill. They didn't get the dragon afterwards, so IG will pick up the objective.
Yep, the problem is a couple of waves were just lost towards that top side of the map. Doran, who was under fire earlier on in the game, is now going to find himself with a decent advantage. Level advantage, as you can see already, but also a couple of waves in the lead as far as that farm. So TheShy got some work to do to catch back up.
So there's the control ward I was talking about. Keria sitting on it and standing still. So TheShy goes in, Oner's able to pillar him, they trap him on this outside, and they are able to chase him down for the kill.
Yep, it's going to be feats of warfare there as well. So we're looking at first turret and the objectives. See who's going to be able to pick those up. A couple of objectives already going the way of IG though, so only needing one more could be a big deal. See whether that next Drake is going to go their way or whether they can get themselves a Herald.
And yeah, the early money on Guma does result in an early essence reaver for him. So just plant Sivir in mid lane, constantly just shove that wave instantly, and Keria taking care of a lot of this vision around mid lane for them to make these plays off.
Yep, Execution is calling, also completed here for Doran, so in that 1v1 going to be feeling a whole lot better. Regeneration of this Rek'Sai can be pretty problematic. Tangle Buff's going to connect here by Meiko. That is way over to the side as well, but Triumphant Roar coming on in there, and Keria really wanting to find something. Wei tries to go into the stealth, but doesn't quite find it, and there is the pillar to lock down the Qiyana. Still no joy here for T1, but you can see they really want to fight.
They definitely did, and Keria, no ultimate on Alistar now, chunked out kind of low. Summoner's spell, healed, not that big a deal, but the ultimate, decent cooldown early on. So we'll see as they then move into the jungle a little bit there. You know, it was a small timing for Meiko to try and get some deeper vision, but he wants to make a little pass towards Guma.
Yep, Guma currently about 900 gold in the lead. And this Sivir is only going to get more and more terrifying as these items start to come in. Of course, 3 items for the Sivir is what we talk about the majority of the time. But if you're accelerated, it's just going to be problematic from the jump. As Faker here towards his bottom side is going to crash yet another wave in. And T1's lane management has been pretty good so far today. IG finding themselves a little bit on the back foot when it comes to the tempo. I was wondering, Kobe, have you guys heard of tempo vibes?
Tempo vibes, Atlas, lay them on me.
So tempo vibes are not anything to do with the actual game state. Okay, you need to take the game state out of there. You just got to think, who do I feel is in the best spot?
Who you vibing with?
And right now, I feel like T1 has the vibe.
That's fair. I will also say, IG have not been a great early game team. They have averaged, deficit at 15.
That might mean that I may have misread the vibes.
So
you might be right.
So they're definitely used to having goal deficits in early games, And that's why I'm very curious to see how the side lanes go later, and especially here for Rookie on the Ryze, because he does have a little gold lead for himself over Faker individually. He's kind of cruising there with his Rod of Ages done, his tier done, so stacking up. I want to see if they can get side lane pressure, if they can actually pull off the famed Ryze Realm Warp Neeko engages. We were talking about it in Select as the Neeko is actually getting chased off here.
Yeah. He is going to convince Oner to leave him alone, and that is going to come on through as Seismic Shove collects Rookie here as Faker will find a whole bunch of rocks. Not too worried about that Rune Prison, but Threaded Volley not going to connect as Seismic Shove hits once again. Oh. Faker looking for the solo kill, but Rookie is able to walk his way out with that phase rush, but man, Faker is putting down the hurt.
They've been teasing us, Atlus. Rookie was able to blow Faker's flash early on, now he's getting low. But it looks like it is just going to end with the pressure, and neither of them fall.
Yeah, and so no flashes blown either, but I did get very excited. That is something that we're just going to do, because it's an exciting matchup. Teleport is going to come on through here as Oner takes another bite out of the turret. He is running pretty quickly. I just don't know whether it's quite going to be enough here as he's thrown into the little Otacon wall that was built before Wei's able to grab his first of the game.
Oh, Oner went back for another bite, but then still tried to run, so he didn't finish the tower either, Atlus. And that's going to mean IG both defend their tower, and they should be able to get this Herald then with no Oner around. That will be their third objective for those feats that you mentioned. And we'll see about the first tower then.
Yeah, we'll see who's going to be able to actually pick up the feats of strength, but this Rift Herald is gone. Collected there by Wei. The fact that this Qiyana also gets the kill is such a big deal, right? You need to have money on this champion, and so far, able to put
here we go.
In the wall and splash forward there from Rookie, and Faker just explodes! Wei helps out, so he's going to get himself the assist, and IG come alive!
And that's going to guarantee the tower, because they have the Rift Herald to use. The flash from Rookie, the flash from Wei. They get the kill onto Faker in the side lane, and they get the tower down.
Oh man, what an incredible switch up when it comes to the tempo of this game, right? We were talking about the fact that all of these lanes are in control by T1. This shakeup could be massive here for IG, who get themselves a 1.5k gold lead in the process.
Those side lanes, Atlus, really big here, and we're past the 15-minute mark here. They're taking the gold lead. In addition to taking those beats.
Oh, Gumayusi almost just dead from that rocket as Keria now in trouble as well, down 50%. T1 looking like they're struggling a little bit to get back control of this game. They won't be able to clear out this way.
Yeah, honestly, Rookie in the side lane might be a problem for them here. We mentioned the Ryze was already starting well, and getting the extra kill here, really ballooning the individual gold lead for himself. They're gonna collect the dragon as well.
Oh, flash headbutt poke to come on through here as immediately the exhaust is down onto Meiko, but he has the Pump Blossom. He finds two with it, as there is the Void Rush from TheShy on that back line, but it's Meiko that falls down. Just one pick and trade for the Drake. Maybe that's just fine here for IG.
Yeah, they get their objective. Okay, Doran.
Yeah, TheShy going to find him once again. Doesn't really want too much of it, as this Ambessa is absolutely terrifying. And Doran, I think, gonna have to be a little bit more involved in some of these fights, because he has been the benefactor of a lot of these skirmishes early where he's been sitting inside lanes, lapping up the gold.
Well, they might make a play right now.
Yep, as I was saying, the public execution is going to come on through as TheShy goes down once again. Keria collects that kill somehow as Gumayusi under fire here in the mid lane as well. We've got backs coming on through, but the Realm Warp is going to come down. Gumayusi in so much trouble as Gala going to be able to help take down this kill, keeps himself alive, and it's another one for Wei.
Yeah, Guma down, no barrier, no flash for him or for Gala. After that play, the action, Atlus, just continues and continues. Gold lead being chopped down, but of course, Keria actually getting the last hit. You were just asking.
Yeah.
You were just asking to get Doran here some more money, some more involvement, and they did make the plan of offside, but
oh dear, Neeko in a little bit of trouble here as the pillar does go down. He's gonna have to flash, gets lit on fire as well, but is gonna make it relatively safely to his outer turret. I'm just worried about this Qiyana, man. I know what they can do in the LPL. I wouldn't be as worried if I was in my league, but this is a very different beast. 2 items already completed, as the Umbral Glaive is now done as well.
Yeah, and these are very cheap items. They reduced the cost of Profane Hydra, made it really nice for rushing. And then Umbral already pretty cheap, really good vision control there too, and gives you a nice lethality spike. So we have seen that burst damage really coming in handy for Wave, for IG, and getting some of those burst kills, especially on the side there.
Yep. And 2 items now done here for Rookie at the same time, hitting that spike pretty early on in this game. This Ryze is going to become a big problem later on in this game. So far, the gold doesn't really mean too much, right? Between these two squads, 700 is not really anything to write home about, Kobe. That is a phrase that I've used in the past.
Got a long history here.
Yeah, just teaching you about that one. As Keria going to look for a little bit of a reset to power up those wards once again. Redemption is done. And see whether T1 have a team fight in them to try and get back into the objective game. Because right now, I say back, they haven't been in it at all.
Yeah, the objectives all going the way of IG, but the control wards that T1 were trying to camp on are slowly getting pushed out here. IG with the extra members around.
Oh, Weaver's Wall to come on through here just for the crab. They are going to get it, so the prize does come on through here for T1. That is Weaver's Wall now on cooldown. Possibly some angles with the Realm Warp this time around, as the Otacon will spawn towards the top side of the map.
Worth mentioning as well that Doran is going to soon have teleport advantage over TheShy, and they're both currently split pushing. So you do have to be a little bit careful with all this fighting over vision on top side with your other group here by Otacon. If, you know, Doran is able to come over and make that big difference, but with the Titanic Hydra rush, you know, TheShy does have very quick wave push, and there comes the teleport!
Keria finding 3 if we include the clone with that pulverize, but where is everybody else? The teleport comes in from Doran, who's at 50% health, but they're just pushing IG away just to try and look for an angle on this Otacon. It has vision on it though, the ward is down here by IG, and T1 are just going to back away.
So they go for the exact, you know, teleport play that we're looking for, Atlus, but IG just escape, just walk away here.
The good old walk away strategy. I've seen that one before.
It's an old one, but it's a good one.
Yeah, it just works.
Just get out of there. So now it's going to be swinging around the other way where the Shy's teleport will come up earlier and IG get to be the ones in the opposite position. And they're also the ones that have this Ryze that has a pretty healthy gold lead for himself here for Rookie, and
yeah,
fully stacked up for Rod of Ages.
Yeah, just hit that level 14 because of that. Glad that we managed to get the animation as well, thanks to observers. As Wei is going to start this one up, Keria is going to be able to spot it here. Okay. See whether T1 can get themselves into position as Meiko trying to get some vision down. Now transformed into Gala for the moment. TheShy on vision, not going to be able to find his flank angle as Doran, you can tell, really wants to get in there with that public execution as Keria with the flash. Public execution goes wide, and Wei finds the ulti. Supreme display of talent, but it's the Otacon going to Oner. This guy's smite button is something else. And Rookie finds 1 kill, now looking for even more. This machine gun Ryze picks up a double. Gala collects Doran, and now Faker is running for the hills. He's surrounded by IG members, and he's running the wrong direction. Gumayusi trying to get down there to try and help him out, but I don't think it's going to work as he's being hunted as well. Blast Cone, and Faker might be able to make it out. The teleport going to come on forward, and he will be able to escape. So Faker's great escape comes on in, and they steal the Otacon, but ultimately lose out on the fight.
Ooh, okay, so, you know, the objective war that we're talking about, Atlus, that gets turned around, but so much extra money here into the hands of IG. Let's take a look at...
Okay.
Just got
that was that was a replay. We checked something out.
I was like,
and now we're back to life.
What are we looking at? Is this a test? This is a test, Atlus. Yeah. I think we failed the test.
I think we failed. I think we 100% failed. If you guys saw what it was, then you have better eyes than us. It was Gumayusi taking a raptor camp. I saw that bit, and that bit was really cool. I like the extra zoom out that we had as well. And now we're checking out this dragon going on down, and that is sole point here for IG. Okay. Uncontested from T1 as well as Gumayusi looking to try and trade it for this outer turret, but he's not even going to be able to collect that one. As Realm Warp comes in, immediately Rookie goes gold, and a bit of a messiah there. You love to see it as he's flung back on the rocks. And IG not going to be able to quite find their prey, but still, I mean, they just get the Drake for free, defend their turret, and put the pressure on T1.
Yeah, this does put a lot of early pressure here with Dragon Soul very early on in this game coming up. T1, of course, as you said, you know, they did a good job here to get the actual Otacon, like the beginning of that fight where they focus Wei, because you know you cannot smite fight really effectively versus a Qiyana with Qiyana's buffs, monster damage, and the rock Qs. That thing is insanely hard to outsmite. So they opt. They're like, you know what? We are not going to try and outsmite a Qiyana because rock Q's OP, and they go specifically to try and push Wei out. They actually do not kill him, and he is able to flash away and get his combo off. But Oner is able to then be the only one close enough. He's able to get the Otacon, but Rookie, look at Rookie on the top side, the Ryze, is able to pick up the extra kill here, more money into him, and is also going to be able to take down Oner. So IG, they get a bunch of money. Gala here even collecting as well on the Corki. And so I think they're pretty happy with that, because now with 3 Drakes setting themselves up for a possible Dragon Soul, with this nice gold lead that they have for themselves. And I mean, Rookie here,
he's a monster.
he is a monster. He did have to break his arm guard with that Realm Warp that he did earlier.
But maybe he can use some of that money to turn it into a cool hourglass.
Yeah, just fix that thing back up before there's another fight, and nobody will notice.
Meiko in potentially a little bit of trouble here, but so is Oner, as Gala is really starting to hit. He's hit that 2-item spike on this Corki, and these rockets are tearing through T1. They're going to think twice before doing that one again, as Meiko's going to transform. Doran looking for an angle. Public Execution's going to have to land this time around, as the last one was so close. Man, that could have actually changed that whole fight completely if that had connected onto Wei. Just a little bit too short, unfortunately. And so it's going to go the other direction. Rookie going to be able to clean up this crab. And IG sitting in full control. And we've spoken about it a fair bit, the swinging of the tempo vibes, and that has certainly swung in favor of IG in this game. Preyseeker going to come on through, and Gumayusi's going to have that spell shield. As T1 holding on quite nicely for the moment, but it's that looming dragon. 2 minutes and 20 seconds until that next Infernal comes on up, and Infernal Soul is a big deal.
Certainly is. Huge, huge burst damage possibilities on the side of this IG team. And here we go as the all-time head-to-head record here for Rookie and Faker that we alluded to at the beginning of the show, Atlus. You know, being there and casting some of these matches, but this is a whole different beast.
It certainly is.
Here at World's Best of 5.
And Rookie, even when his career had just started, right? He started the second team for KT, I believe it was KT Arrows at the time, and was very dominant. Won in summer, and then was somehow unable to make it to Worlds. It's crazy how these things kind of happen. And he was able to get the better of Faker there, then was unable to actually make it anywhere near him when it came to the World Championship. Until Faker just, you know, had his worst year, which was 2018, and that was when Rookie's like, it's my time to strike. And we just don't get this matchup very often at all. But when we do, Rookie just seems to figure it out. Right now, he's doing the same thing as a clone will be attacked momentarily, but not too much more is going to happen. And this Qiyana is really doing some damage. 2-0-2. And Wei, he certainly has a lot of control when it comes to trying to escape the jungle of T1 and put some pressure on back the other direction. And it's a 3,000 gold lead, Kobe. This game is really starting to run away from T1.
Yeah, and especially the side lanes, they're going to have to worry. Rookie has been able to fix up the broken arm guard into the hourglass and can apply that side lane pressure. Same thing with Rek'Sai here for TheShy. Push the wave very quickly. You just create your network of tunnels, so you are insanely hard to go try and trap. You have all these escape routes. And some big possibilities here of IG's macro just being too much for T1. T1 going to have to focus on some fights here and winning out through their fights if they're not able to handle these lanes. Nice
little snare once again onto Keria. He takes a fair bit of damage, but he is an Alistar, so he should be okay. Still T1 testing, trying to find some angles, but when the pillar goes down, Gala just stands and fights, as now Keria's in so much trouble. The exhaust is going to be employed to make sure that Wei can't kill him, but that's going to mean reset time for the cow. And IG just holding back T1, and they can... Is this just free? Is this just free Infernal Soul? Okay, that's the MasterCard priceless moment right there as the Infernal Soul is going to go down. And now T1 have to deal with even more firepower. I'm kind of gobsmacked, Kobe.
This burst damage is going to be insane from IG. They go for the Realm Up onto Faker.
All right, they're going to look for the angle, but he throws down the wall. That's going to be enough to get him out of there. If Scuttler does go on down here, as Gala once again dealing with this pillar. It's been placed on top of him multiple times, hasn't really phased him too much at all. So we're seeing a bit of a fight towards the bottom side, one that TheShy is feeling pretty happy about, especially with Thornmail now completed. Yeah, it's 2 items. One of them's a Black Cleaver, but still looking like TheShy is pretty happy.
Yeah, with so much armor and the upgraded boots here as well for TheShy. You know, the early Thornmail to deal the damage back. Plenty of wave clear, and again, IG, they can set up these side waves to their liking first. So it's on T1 to kind of sit here and try and camp for something. Maybe you can camp for a pick, maybe you can camp for a Taliyah play or something, because for their side, at least Guma now does have the 3 items, you know, Infinity Edge completed here on top of Navori and the Essence Reaver for the Sivir. So the possibilities coming out there for these team fights for the future. Yep,
he's held on to that 900 gold lead the entire game. So kudos to him for that one, but haven't seen too much more, and the problem is that Rookie is 3,000 gold ahead. We're going to zoom on him right here towards the top side of the map, and yeah, this guy is the one that they're going to have to really worry about.
And it's so big because Rookie had a rough playoffs, and so this is huge to come out in game 1 of the series. We'll see how IG are look to finish it, though, because so far the advantage here.
And now it's Baron territory. All right, this is T1 being a bit of a fan, going for Barons, for better or worse throughout their time. We'll see whether they do decide to pull the trigger as the teleport is coming in from TheShy. Keria wanting to get into position, but TheShy is going to be spotted immediately. Good spell shield as the supreme display of talent doesn't find the angle, and then Protect the President comes on through from T1. Void Rush not going to be enough, and it's Gumayusi that gets the better of the Rek'Sai. And TheShy may have thrown a bit of this lead away, but IG still standing. We'll see what they can get from this. It's a decent stun onto Oner. He's out of the way, but the seismic shove comes through. Pop lots him. Only onto 1 as Gala's forced to run away. Such a low health bar. As the boss responds, not quite enough. Rookie goes down. Gumayusi's free hitting, and it's another one for Oner as T1 just make a team fight win out of nothing.
Oh, that is just one Rek'Sai tunnel too far from TheShy under the tower, Atlus. That dive and TheShy going down opens up the possibilities for T1 to go for their 5-on-4 team fight, and that's going to be a Baron.
And immediately they get to just put themselves into a winning position because the Baron was right there for the taking. It was into Infernal, Soul Kobe.
Oh, IG. They got a little too antsy. They wanted Guma too much. They full sent under the tower there. TheShy goes over, and Doran is able to peel for him. Doran's Ambessa ultimate is enough to keep Guma alive under the tower.
Oh, man. As T1 now back out onto the map with some newly found gusto. They find themselves a 2,000 goal lead now. That is only going to improve with the Rebel Baron power play coming on in. So we're going to have a look at this one more time as TheShy just so deep to try and kill Gumayusi.
Yeah, after Wave forced the summoner spells, you know, I don't know what the comps were like on IG, but yeah, he decides to full send under the tower, and then T1 are like, okay, he's still here, he is low, but he can add damage. So we go for the re-engage here, and Keria just pops Alistar ultimate. He's okay kind of playing frontline and soaking that re-engage from IG, and so there was nowhere for Rookie to get out.
And the aggro management was absolutely absurd. Everyone on T1 was about the same level of health bar.
Yeah, Faker got that seismic shove on 2, and so they get the extra kill, they get the Baron, and now Atlus, this game, right back the other foot. T1 taking towers with the Baron push.
Yep, and it's going to be even more of a swing. As you can see here, inner turret goes down, that's even more money. And now 3,000 gold lead back in the favor of T1, as now they're looking for even more. The Pulverize only connects onto one. Supreme Display of Talent goes absolutely everywhere, but it doesn't do anything. They're able to take down the turret, and T1, they're just going to move their way back out. They're just stealing all their stuff, Kobe, and they're watching, as there it is, the public execution. Oh, yeah. Meiko just pops like a balloon. The inhibitor goes down. It's a fair bit of AoE as Rookie is still tearing them up alongside Gala. And TheShy gets into the backline with that Void Rush, but now he's in an uncomfortable position. Decent knockup comes through as Faker's trying to hold them at bay to give enough time to Guma to take down TheShy. And IG back to walking backwards once again, and Faker flashes forward, finds Gala, blows him up, and this should be the end of the game. T1, after losing for the majority of it, just come out on top, and they're going to look to put themselves 1-0 in this best of 5. Unless Rookie can do something miraculous underneath this turret, but he's not going to be able to. The seismic shove, all too set up here for Faker to take him down.
What a way to open up Worlds 2025, Atlus. T1 here looking to finish the job in game 1.
Well, Meiko looking to try and fight back here, but once again, just into the tennis racket of Faker, as Way not going to get thrown back this time, but the rocks will be enough. A double kill for Faker. The GOAT sitting at 4-1-5 at the end of game 1, and it is an ace before the Nexus is taken down. T1 will lead the series 1-0. Man, IG were winning though, man. They were winning until the game was over. Like, guys on the desk, like, what happened?
Don't ask us. We don't know what happened. We blinked, and then TheShy did the most TheShy thing ever. But everything was going so well for IG.